Hello and welcome back to Rambling About Wrestling, the only show that's just like Fightful, if Fightful was one man sat in his spare room alone late at night. Today we have a banger, as I will bring you 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 wrestlers from the US independent scene that I want to take an extended trip over to the UK. First up, I'll start with numero 5. Gringo Loco, the bass god, currently wrestles a lot for GCW. I do believe he was over here when GCW took over the Electric Ballroom last year, and I'd be interested to see him do it all again. Loco, a former champion in DDT when he won the Universal Championship. A former Remix champion in Pro Wrestling Revolver, another promotion that's great from America. You should totally check them out. The Defy Primo Lucha champion as well for quite a few days. Speaking of long reigns, he's the Warrior Wrestling Lucha champion for 993. That is a lot of days. A hell of a lot. But sticking in the Gringo Loco universe, my pick for number 4 would be his Los Desperados tag team partner, Jack Cartwheel. I absolutely adore Jack Cartwheel. His whole thing is he does a lot of cartwheels. I love the cartwheel counter. I saw him on Ring of Honor quite a bit, but obviously then he became WWE ID affiliated, which still technically means he's bookable, and I do believe by 2026 it will all fall apart. I mean, it's a good deal for him, isn't it? Getting a spot on a WWE programming technically. I mean, I really thought he was going to be the first WWE ID champion. I remember during WrestleMania weekend that GCW promoted WWE ID Showcase where he fought Cappuccino Jones, his own tag team partner, in the finals of that tournament. It's a weird one with Jack Cartwheel because I would really like to see him over here, but I don't believe any independent promotions over here have a good relationship with the WWE ID program, and I don't think there will be any due to the, we've been burnt before with NXT UK. I'd like to see it though, and this is my fantasy booking, so who gives a damn what you have to say? Moving on to number 3 now. Someone who I haven't seen much of, but really caught my attention this past weekend. He's been over in the UK a couple of times now, for Pro Wrestling Eve, but I believe it was only once or possibly twice that she's made an appearance. Vipress. Now, she's a very interesting wrestler. She's got a lot of charisma, and of course she's already made her debut for AEW, yes, in an enhancement role, but who cares about logistics? I just think, it's a name that not many people would have heard of, and I watched her match at Eve, it was pretty good, so I don't see why she can't pop over for a couple other promotions. I'm talking about a grand UK tour here, not just one or two dates with Eve. Pro Wrestling Eve, I feel like they book women from all over the world. Let's have another few promotions step up and have a couple matches there. Mainly wrestles in GCW, I believe. Last weekend she fought Drew Parker in a losing effort, and then the next night, one of the most clippable, strange matches, but in the best way in a way, lost. One of the most clippable matches, but in the best way, I'd say. Lost to Priscilla Kelly. It was a crazy match. I don't know if you should watch it. It is interesting to say the least. I watched the Eve match first, and then I went, "Oh, she's on the GCW cards. Let's give them a look." And yeah, Priscilla Kelly's a strange wrestler nowadays, but she's great. It's strange in the best way, strange in my way. I like that kind of mental moment every match approach she takes. Moving on to number 2, a man tied up at the moment with JCW Championship aspirations in an I Quit match. It is Charles Mason. I saw him fight JJ Gale. He was booked to fight JJ Gale. I don't think that match was publicly available, easily at least. But every time I've seen him, he's a great character worker. I'm now realising that I'm going to have to rejig some things, because I've actually got 6 names, and Jack Cartwheel's been moved to an honourable mention because I want to talk about 2 other wrestlers. So it's either a six-person list and he's in last place at 6th, or he's an honourable mention on a 5-person list. You can decide in the comments down below. But back to Charles Mason, an amazing wrestler, and I think he'd just be very fun to have over here because of how different his style is. And he can hang, he can go with the best of them. We've seen him fight Amazing Red in a lot of work in House of Glory as their Crown Jewel champion. I think he fought Shelton Benjamin at one point. There was a wild time when you'd see match graphics popping up with just the most random people challenging for the Crown Jewel Championship of Charles Mason. And I think he's won the House of Glory Championship now. Heavyweight title after losing the Crown Jewel Championship. But a match against Ricky Starks before he went to NXT. Obviously, American promotions must be high on him, and I want to get high on him too. Well, that's not quite right. But obviously, American promotions must be high on him, so why not bring him over here? Moving on to number 2, a man who beat Charles Mason just a few weeks ago. The GCW World Heavyweight Championship in a triple threat, also involving Effie. It is Atticus Cogar. We've seen him in deathmatch promotions and such, and I want to see him in the wider wrestling sphere over here. Purely because, why not? Now, he's done a lot of interesting character work recently with the Cogar brothers. He calls them Vandal 48, I want to say. Yeah, he calls them Vandal 48. It's Otis Cogar and Christian Napier, who I believe is his cousin. But yeah, used to be part of 440. That was when I first got into him. I don't actually know what happened to 440. Maybe that'll be a video one day down the line. I've already used my drop that in the comments down below, so you're not getting it again. But yeah, I think he is thoroughly enjoyable. And now we move to the man who I would love to see him in a ring over here, it is Fancy Ryan Clancy, the best dropkick in the world, better than Orton, better than Okada, better than Kevin Knight. That one's debatable. I will give you that. That is debatable. But an absolutely superb wrestler, the IWTV Independent Wrestling World Champion, which used to mean a lot back in the day. I'm not so sure nowadays, but it was held by some absolutely amazing stars. People like Jonathan Gresham, Orange Cassidy, Lee Moriarty, Wheeler Yuta, Alex Shelley, part of WWE nowadays, Chris Statlander. Only the 17th reign as champion, and some of those have been double. So it's quite a prestigious belt in terms of reigns. They're long reigns and some properly good matches under his belt. I believe when GCW went to the American Dream Mall, I believe when GCW went to the American Dream Mall, it was the Fancy Flying Cartwheels who lost to Alec Price, Jordan Oliver, and Marcus Mathers. But it was an amazing match. Of course, bit of cartwheels, bit of drop kicks. It was superb. But I just love Ryan Clancy's whole gimmick with the suspenders. So fun. And I mean, if I got to sit there at an indie show and see it live in person, I would be a very happy bunny. But that was my 5 or 6 wrestlers who I want to see over in the UK. Make a little excursion from the US scene. Drop who you want to see in the comments below. But until then, I'll see you next time. Stay rambling.